Good, sharing my screen with all of you. We were there last time around in the leverage analysis. I had first clarified the conceptual part of the leverage, how to interpret this leverage, why this leverage analysis is important when it comes to capital structure decisions. Let me just brief you again with the concept called leverage. It is basically the risk any company has taken. Now, how do you evaluate the risk taken by a company? A very simple definition of the risk is that how much fixed commitment you have taken. Now, that fixed commitment you are obliged to fulfill irrespective of whatever the level of output you generate, irrespective of whatever the growth you generate, irrespective of your financial position. These costs are committed costs. That means that much of risk we have already taken, whether we earn the money or we do not earn the money. And leverage analysis is the analysis of the various fixed costs that company has taken. Now, the first type of leverage was the operating leverage, where the simple definition was the contribution divided by EBIT, operating leverage, contribution divided by EBIT. Then the second one, which was discussed extensively, was financial leverage, which stands for EBIT divided by EBT. And you multiply the operating leverage and the financial leverage, you get the combined leverage. There are a few other formulas as well for this. So in this case, operating leverage can also be found by using percentage change in EBIT divided by percentage change in contribution. So numerator will become denominator, denominator will become numerator. Similarly, this will also the same. And here in this case, you may use various formulas. One is the multiplication of OL and FL, that is the CL. Another formula you may use is you may write contribution divided by EBT. And the third formula you may use over here is that percentage change in EBT divided by percentage change in contribution. Good. So by finding this leverage, we'll try to analyze that how much risk the company has taken, what are the various analytical interpretations of it. Let's move to the question straight away without wasting much of time, and then we'll take one practical data set from the website where Excel applications will be there. Before that, one question on a pen paper basis, and then the Excel question will be taken. The following data is available for XYZ Limited. You may just take a snap of it if you want to. Sales 2 lakhs, variable cost 60,000, contribution is 1,40,000, fixed cost is 1 lakh. Then interest is given, profit before tax is also given. After that, there is no requirement of the taxation amount because we only require the EBIT and EBT. So EBT is basically the earning before tax, can also be called as the profit before tax. So what are the requirements? Let's see. Using the concept of financial leverage, by what percentage will the taxable income increase if EBIT increases by 6%? Okay, we'll see that. Using the concept of operating leverage, by what percentage EBIT increase if there is 10% increase in sales? Oh, sir, it's very hard to get right now, but it's okay. I am there for you. Using the concept of leverage, by what percentage will the taxable income increase if the sales increases by 6%? Also verify the results in view of above figures. Well, so without wasting much of time, let's start with the formulas. I'm first starting with the operating leverage. So पहला पहला प्यार है, पहली पहली बार है, पहली पहली बार लिख रहे हैं तो भाव देते हैं थोड़ा सा, ऑपरेटिंग लीवरेज. Next time onwards we'll be writing just OL. That's contribution divided by EBIT. Sir, how do we find it? So whenever you see such questions, no, you will first prepare one working note where entire format will be written. So I'm just writing one working note somewhere here. First is the amount of sales I'm writing. Then from that you reduce the variable cost, you get the contribution. Then you reduce the fixed cost. Now this entire format is anyway given to us in the question itself, but still we'll have to do some gadda majuri. It's not a gadda majuri. By writing, the retention increases by many folds, proven scientifically. 2 lakhs minus 60,000. So your contribution is 1,40,000. Then we have got the fixed cost of 1 lakh rupees, reducing that to. So you get EBIT of 40,000. Then the interest is 5,000. So you get the profit before taxes. Now, sir, that was anyway given to us. Why did you write it? In this question, it was given. No, in other questions, it may not be given. So if you are habituated to prepare a one working note for that, then you don't require any other thing. Okay, so contribution, how much? 140 divided by EBIT of 40,000. So 140 divided by 40,000, what is the operating leverage we get? Some people also calls it the degree of operating leverage. So do not get confused. The degree of operating leverage or the operating leverage, both are one and same. Good thing about finance is it gives you a liberty, unlike the accounting subjects where everything is driven by the accounting standards. And bad thing about finance is that it gives you a liberty because everyone will be using their own terminology to express few terms. In accounting, you have got fixed terminology. You cannot use the long-term or short-term liability in a way you want, because these terms are regulated by the standards of accounting issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. But in finance, you may use everything because there is no controlling authority for these terms. Because finance is used more for the analytical purpose, accounting is used more for the reporting purpose. 40,000. So you get 3.5. Now let's find the FL2, financial leverage. So that's going to be 40,000 divided by 35,000. So that will be 1.1428. Great. And then there will be a last combined leverage. You may just multiply OL and FL. So you get 3.5 multiplied by 1.1428. So we get 4. Now, how do we interpret this? Try to understand. Now, operating leverage of 3 increases by 1%, then EBIT will get increased by 3.5%. I'm repeating that, reiterating. Please put it in the back of your mind. How do we interpret this? If contribution increases by 1%, EBIT will increase by 3.5%. And it's a double-edged sword, because when the company will not do good, at that time, if the contribution reduces by 1%, your EBIT will reduce by 3.5%. So EBIT is very, very sensitive to the change in contribution, almost 3.5 times. I hope everyone is getting this. Similarly, you may interpret the financial leverage like this. If the EBIT increases by 1%, then the EBT can also be called as the profit before tax, can also be called as the taxable income, because on which we pay the tax. So if my EBIT increases by 1%, then sir, this profit before tax or earning before tax or taxable income increases by 1.14. Then, my friends, combined leverage gives you a relationship between the contribution and the earning before tax. So if the contribution increases by 1%, then sir, the earning before tax increases by 4%. I hope the analytical aspect is crystal clear. Now, if you can understand it well, we may go to the specific requirement of question. So part A, using the concept of financial leverage, by what percentage will the taxable income increase if EBIT increases by 6%? Now I am waiting for 1 minute from all of you. Let's see who can solve this. I have clarified the analytical aspects. Let's see who can give me a right answer for point A. 1 minute uninterrupted. Miss Hemal is saying 6.84. We have received it from Miss Titli as well. Good to see that. Well, Mr. Mites were right on a track, but the only, okay, so that was the calculation stated by him. Fine, got it. So I have received the answers from Miss Titli as well as Miss Hemali, and both of them are right at the money. Let's move. How, sir? Now, the financial leverage we have got, no, that is 1.14, right? So that tells you that if 1% increase in contribution is taking place, then what will be the increase in? No, see, this is financial leverage, sorry. So 1% increase in EBIT, then how much percentage increase in EBT? So 1% equal to 1.414% effect on EBT. Now, if I change it by 6%, then what will be the impact on EBT? So that's just a cross multiplication, a very basic algebraic exercise that we used to do in 5th standard. So I may just write it like 0.06 multiplied by 1.14. So 6% I'm writing right now in a decimal, then final answer will convert it into percentage. So that's somewhere around 6.84 percentage. So if the 6% change will take place in EBIT, the subsequent change in EBT will be 6.84 percentage. Do not get confused by a terminology. EBT also stands for the taxable income, because on that the taxable tax amount is paid. Similarly, let's do it for question number B. Now please, operating leverage gives you a relationship between contribution and EBIT, right? Before contribution, try to understand what are the things are there. Variable cost and sales. Now, variable cost and sales both are very variable in the same proportion to the contribution. So, by whatever the percentage, contribution changes, with the same percentage, sales and variable cost changes. So, if someone asks you that, sir, if there is a 1% change in sales, what will be a percentage change in contribution? It will be same, because variable cost is directly proportionate to the sales in a fixed percentage. Those who couldn't get it, बहुत ही सिंपल सी भाषा में समझाता हूं, जितना कंट्रीब्यूशन में चेंज आता है उतना ही परसेंटेज चेंज सेल्स में भी आता है, क्योंकि उसके ऊपर जितने भी एक्सपेंसेस है वो वेरिएबल है। वैसे ही जितना परसेंटेज चेंज ईबीटी में आता है, अर्निंग बिफोर टैक्स, उतना ही परसेंटेज चेंज अर्निंग अवेलेबल फॉर इक्विटी में और अर्निंग आफ्टर टैक्स में आता है। By whatever the percentage, EBT changes, with the same percentage, even profit after tax changes. Because after that, all the expenses are variable. From EBT, what do you deduct? You deduct the tax, right? Now, tax is a fixed percentage of your EBT. So that is a variable expense. With the EBT, it increases. With the downfall in the EBT, it decreases. Right? So everyone should be crystal clear about this. Whatever the percentage change taking place in contribution, the same percentage change will take place in sales. Whatever the change taking place in EBT, the similar percentage change will take place in profit after taxes as well. Has everyone got this? May I have a confirmation through the chat box, please? So instead of contribution, they have used sales, no? So that's why I'm telling this. Any doubt, any query, anything you couldn't understand, please let me know. Okay, fine. I'm repeating that. Don't worry. See, operating leverage gives you a relationship between contribution and EBIT, right? That is a well-established fact. Now, instead of contribution, if someone writes sales in the question, that what will be the percentage change in the sales, not in a contribution, then it will be same, because sales and contribution both are moving in a same proportionate direction. See, this relationship gets broken only when you have the fixed costs. Otherwise, everything will move in the same percentage direction. If there is a 1% change in sales, there will be 1% change in contribution, because the middle expenditure we have got, no, that is the variable cost. Whenever this fixed cost occurs, at that point of time, this proportions gets changed. So we'll take one numerical example if you're not getting this, so that we'll get it in a better way. But that's you should rectify this, that whatever the percentage change takes place in contribution, the same percentage change takes place in sales. As simple as that. And similarly, EBT also we have in the financial leverage, right? In the denominator. So whatever the change takes place in EBT, the same percentage change takes place in profit after tax. So by using the financial leverage, you can also say about the change in profit after tax, not just the EBT. Because between this EBT and profit after tax, the only expense is the tax. Now, tax is directly proportionate to EBT. Whatever the EBT will be there, in the same proportion, there will be a tax. So 40% of EBT, 40% will be a tax. So you get the profit after tax. So I can say that whatever the percentage change is taking place in EBT, the same percentage change is also taking place in profit after tax. Now is it clear? May I have a confirmation, please, Himali? Good. Thank you so much. Others? How about others? Okay, received it from Miss Titli, from Miss Veronica as well. Good to see that. Others, if you are stuck, please let me know. If you don't ask, then उसमें तेरा घाटा मेरा कुछ नहीं जाता. फिर बड़ा पछताओगे, बड़ा पछताओगे. Let's move ahead. Requirement number 2 is what? Read it carefully. Using the concept of operating leverage, by what percentage will EBIT increase if there is 10 percentage increase in sales? So instead of contribution, they have used sales. But we know now that sales and contribution both moves equally in terms of percentage. Okay. So what is the OL we have got, sir? 3.5, sorry. So that tells me that 1% change in contribution will result into 3.5 percentage change in EBIT. Now, instead of contribution, I can also write sales, because now we are aware that sales and contribution both moves in a same proportion. Okay. So, sir, if 10 percentage increase is taking place in sales, then what will be the percentage change impact on EBIT? So you just multiply 3.5 with 10. Or you may just write 3.5 multiplied by 0.10, then you can convert it into multiply by 100. So whatever the case it may be, you may just write in directly as well. 3.5 को तुम directly लो तो भी चलेगा. So 3.5 multiplied by 10, so that 10% increase in sales. So that comes how much? 35%, yes or no? So 10% increase in sales will result into 35% increase in contribution. Sorry, EBIT. Let's move to the third one. What is the third one? That is the CL. So CL relationship gives you 1% change in sales or contribution will result into 4% change in, you may just write 1 or 4 to not get confused about this multiplication, It's just about the cross multiplication. If you just ignore the percentage sign over here, then also it's fine. 4% change in EBT. Or instead of EBT, I can also write PAT. Because EBT and PAT both moves in the same proportion. We are aware about it. So, sir, what if question number 3 read kijiye, by using the concept of leverage, which is basically a combined leverage, by what percentage taxable income increases if the sales increase by 6%? Right? So, sir, if there is a 6% increase in sales, then what will be the percentage increase in EBIT and PAT? So you may just write 6 multiplied by 4, so 24%. Now we are going to verify this as well by doing some calculation. Just a second, this 24%. Once it is done, please let me know. We'll move ahead with the verification of our analytical outputs. Good. So we have received it from Hemali. I'm expecting the active interaction from other students as well. In case you are stuck, please let me know. Let's verify this answer. So what was the answer we had received for the first part? That, sir, $6.84. Yes. So if there is a 6% increase in sales, then there will be 6.84%, not sales, sorry, EBIT. Then 6.84% change in EBT. That was the outcome of our first part, right? So let's verify this. Let's find the new cells. Or let's find the new EBIT, whatever the case it may be. So rather than cells, you may just write the EBIT as well. So what is the new EBIT? You will have 6% change you do in the EBIT. EBIT is 40,000 plus 6%. So how much you get? Can someone tell me? ये इसका इतना स्क्रॉल करना पड़ता है ना, मेरे को पता नहीं क्या यार, फिर भी डोंट हैव एनी अदर ऑप्शन ना यार, वरना क्या रहता है, वो क्लासरूम में बड़ा सा बोर्ड रहता है तो पूरा हमें दिखता है कि कहाँ पे कौन सी चीज हमने करके रखी थी, यहाँ पे तो सर्च करना पड़ता है वो किधर गई वो चीज. So 40,000 plus 6% of 40,000. So we get 42,400. Now fixed cost remains same because that's why they are fixed cost. They do not change with the level of output. So how much fixed cost we have in the first one? EBIT के बीच में क्या आता है? Interest आता है. That will remain 5,000 only, right? Because that does not get changed. So I am writing fixed cost as 5,000. So we get some amount of EBT there, which is 37,400. Well, so what was the old EBT? Old EBT was 35,000, right? So what is the change in EBT? From old, we have got new. So the change is 2,400 rupees. So in terms of percentage, what is the change that has taken place in EBT? So percentage change in EBT equal to change in EBT divided by old EBT. So you get the percentage change, right? So you do this 2,400 divided by 35,000. So how much change is taking place? I guess 6.84 only, obviously. 2,400 divided by 35,000. So 6.85 percentage change taking place over here. So what we had concluded is proven right numerically too. That's why we had concluded. No, इसमें कुछ नहीं है. Yes, the ratio analysis है भैया. For the analytical purposes, you do the ratio analysis. ये बड़े बड़े नाम दे देते हैं, leverage और ये leverage और वो leverage. कुछ ऐसा है नहीं. Let's prove the second one as well. I hope everyone is doing it along with me. Okay. So, sir, if there is 10% increase in sales, then 35% increase in EBIT. That was the conclusion of the second one, right? So let's do it. We had the old sales amount first. So old sales amount was, I guess, 2 lakhs rupees, if I'm not wrong. Yes. You increase your sales by 10%. So new sales equal to 2 lakhs plus 10%. So that comes at 2,20,000, right? Now you have got the variable cost. Variable cost will be in the same percentage of the sales, right? So you will be calculating that variable cost percentage as well. So 60,000 from 20,000. So what is that percentage? Check it out. 60,000 divided by 2 lakhs. What do you get?
0.3.
30% will be there. So it's basically 30% of your sales. Variable cost are 30% of your sales. So let me reduce the variable cost now. At 30% of sales. So 30% of 2,20,000 now, because we have got the new sales, no? So 22 2 44, 22 3 66. So 66,000 will be my variable cost. So we get country. Sir, country will be 220 minus 66. $220 minus 66. People have got this answer. 154. Then, sir, fixed cost remains fixed. So first fixed cost we had was how much? I guess 1 lakh rupees. Yes. And the second fixed cost is 5,000. So 1 lakh rupees you reduce. You get EBIT of 54,000. Then you reduce interest, which will remain again same, 5,000. So you get 49,000. 49,000 is my EBT. Now, what was my old EBT? Sir, my old EBT was 35,000. 35,000. So what is the increase in EBT? From 35, it got increased to 49. So, sir, that is the increase of 14,000. So, in percentage change, what is this increase? Percentage increase in EBT. So, equal to increase in EBT divided by old EBT. So, you get 14 divided by 35,000. So, let's see how much we get it. We get 4 percentage change. Now see. We were first finding it EBIT, right? So हमने ये इसका भी कर दिया, तीसरे वाले का भी कर दिया. हमने EBT का नहीं करना था, EBIT का करना था, because our requirement of the question was 35% increase in EBT. So let's do that too. So 54,000 is the new EBIT. What was the old EBIT? If there was no change taking place?
40,000.
थैंक यू सो मच. ये मेरे को इतना स्क्रॉल करना पड़ रहा है, देखो मैं भूल गया किधर है. हाँ, इधर. हाँ, 45,000. So, sir, what is the increase in EBIT? So, 9,000. So, percentage increase in EBIT will be 9,000 divided by old EBIT, which is 45,000. So, 9,000 divided by 45,000. Let's see what do we get there.
Sir, the old EBIT was 40,000, not 45,000.
Okay, not 45. Sir, it was 40. Okay, fine. So 9,000 divided by 40. 22.5. Let me just check it 1 second.
It will be 14,000 divided by 40,000.
It's not 9, sir. Change in EBIT is not 9, it's 14,000. I'm really sorry. सर आप यहाँ पे आपने ईयरबड्स ली है ना, तो आप थोड़ा सा आप स्टक हो गए हो आज. ओके फाइन. सो इंक्रीज इन EBIT will be, old EBIT was 40,000, not 45, and the new EBIT we have got is 54. So that is increase of 14,000. So percentage increase in EBIT will be 14,000 divided by the old EBIT of 40,000. Oops, equal to 14,000 divided by 40,000. So we get 0.35. So can also be called as 35 percentage. Oops. Everyone, please do it and let me know if you are stuck anywhere. So our argument is proven right. No, we were saying that sir, 10% increase in sales will result into 35% increase in EBIT. So that's what has happened. old EBIT was 40,000, not 45,000. That's why there was some error in the calculation. Please do it and let me know once it is done from your end, all of you. So third one I can put up to you. What is the requirement of the third one? Please go through that. Using the concept of leverage, what percentage taxable income increase if the sales is increased by 6%? So you do the 6% increment in sales. Accordingly, the variable cost will also get increased from its previous levels. And you will also verify that. Shall I move ahead, guys, to the practical question? Only confirmation I've received from Hemali right now. Anyone else? Are we all doing it, guys? Good. Received it from Miss Titli too. Nice to see that. Others, how about you? Mr. Daksh, Deepesh, Dhruv, Gaurav, Jaidev, Mili, Miss Saraswati, Vaishali, Veronica. Good. Thank you so much. Please let me know once it is done. Fine. Now we can move to one practical question on this. We'll be doing the leverage analysis of the Reliance Industries Limited. So you may have your laptop. We have got just 5 to 10 minutes before the end of this session. So I'm renaming this worksheet to leverage analysis of RIL. So we'll be doing the leverage analysis for last 5 years, and we'll try to see that how Reliance Industries Limited have performed in terms of its risk-taking capacity and risk tolerance, in terms of the fixed costs. So before that, we'll have to first copy the data of Reliance Industries Limited from somewhere. So every one of you will start finding it. And in your Google, you will search it like Reliance Financials Money Control. So Reliance Financials Money Control, please search it. So you get some data in the money control. I'm clicking over there in the Reliance data. So I get this kind of data where balance sheet is given to me for last 5 years. But sir, we are not supposed to find the balance sheet. We want the P&L account. From profit and loss account, we'll find this data. So everyone may note it down. Just next to a balance sheet, you have got one more tab of P&L, profit and loss account. Just click on that. And if I tell you about doing the leverage analysis of any company, you will follow the same process. Instead of Reliance, you'll be typing the company allotted to you. So that may be a part of the upcoming project or assignment. So sir, you have got various numbers here. So rather than typing all these numbers and putting there in Excel, let's have, the control A, or you may just select this entirely right from the first to the last one with the mouse click. Don't do control A, otherwise other things will also come, we don't want those things. So I'm copying from profit and loss to the profit and loss for the period, because after that there is EPS and many other things which is not required right now. Earning per share and those things are not required. So I'm doing control C. Once this data is selected, do not paste it, otherwise there will be a codes and various other things there. You will do paste special, and in a paste special there is one option of Unicode text, the second option. Let me use the magnifier. Good. So in paste special, you get this Unicode text, then press OK. So this only the values will be pasted, and I'm just increasing a width and size of it a bit so that we'll be able to do it in a better way. First of all, we have got the data in a descending order, 21 to 17. It should be ascending order. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing the control X. Now you people have learned at Excel, right? So you'll be selecting this entirely, March 18, from the first to the last one. Then please do control X and paste it next to March 17, control V. So after 17, you have got 18. So if you want to do some trend analysis, no, then if we'll have 17 to 21, it will be showing us a better picture. A direction towards the past will not be serving some purpose. It should be a futuristic, right? Similarly, 19, I'm copying, not copying control X to cut it actually. And doing control V over here. So we have got 19 there. Then 20 को भी हम लेके जाएंगे उधर. And the last one is 21. Those companies which have lesser amount of financial and operating leverage are always considered good in the investment fraternity because they have got the less amount of fixed obligation in comparison to whatever the sales they generate. So in case of uncertainties, these investors may be satisfied enough, may be relieved enough not to take much pressure about that company. Okay, now all these columns which are not required, I guess B, C, D, and E. Select all those columns and delete those columns. So you have got 17 to 21, and I'm just increasing the size of the first column A. So all the topics will be displayed better way. Here the major concern is that we'll have to identify which are the costs variable, which are the costs are fixed. So we'll not be able to comment very exactly, but at least from the 5 years of data, we may analyze that some of the costs are remaining static. That means not getting changed over a period of time. So those costs we may assume as the fixed costs, and some of the costs are varying directly with the level of output, or I may say the sales. So those costs may be assumed as the variable cost. So the first task after getting this P&L account will be to assign whether it is a variable cost or fixed cost. Now let's ignore the revenue side right now because we want to first find the we want the work to be done only in this expense side. So my friend, in the expense one, first one you have got is the cost of raw materials, right? Now if you see, the cost of raw materials is directly changing with the sales, revenue from operations. So revenue from operations is basically the amount of sales as per the new terminology for financial statements of Companies Act. Instead of sales, revenue from operation is to be used in accounting. So say there was 2,78,000, here it was 168. Then the sales got increased, similarly the raw material got increased too. Similarly, again the sales got increased, the raw material got increased. So you may just see that when the sales are less, the raw material consumed is also less. And when sales are good, raw material is also getting some increment. So we may assume that this is the variable cost. Now, by what percentage it is a variable cost and by what percentage it is a fixed cost? That is again a task where you should where we require very very small, minute details about the company. So this chief financial officers of the company or the financial managers of this company will be in the right position to see that what are the costs exactly are fixed and what are the costs exactly the variable. Our calculation will always be on the approximate basis because we do not know the exact details about the components of this raw material consumed. Up to what extent it is fixed might be there will be some consumption of the raw material irrespective of whatever the amount of sales you do. But just for the clarity of understanding and simplicity of our calculations, we'll be taking the entire expense either fixed or variable. That is entirely a basic assumption we make, So this is taken as a variable. Please put the comments accordingly. Operating and activity, these are also considered as variable. Then we have got changes in inventory considered as variable. Because inventories will change according to the sales amount, Employee benefit expense. Now, employee benefit expense, if you check, from 4434 crores to 5024 crores, and I don't think there is a much change in the employee benefit expense. So you may take that cost as the fixed cost. From 2017 to 2021, no, you see, there hasn't a major change taken place in the employee benefit expense. Changing this employee expense just by 1,000 crores to 2,000 crores when your sales is growing somewhere near to 30-40,000 crores, which is a very minor change. So you may take this expense as entirely a fixed one. That is, again, I'm stating that we are making this assumption because we do not know the exact details about this company. Then finance cost. Now, in finance cost, they would have taken the fixed. They would have taken the more borrowings as well. That's why there is an increment in the cost. But finance cost is always taken as the fixed cost. That does not change with the level of output you generate in the sales. बाकी के दूसरे साल में क्यों आपका फाइनेंस कॉस्ट बढ़ा है? बिकॉज आपने नया वाला लोन लिया होगा, नया बोरोइंग लिया होगा किसी के पास से. Even though they are getting changed, you should not take it as a variable cost. That's what I'm saying. Because they would have taken the new borrowings, no? That may be a reason behind it. But they are always fixed. This 16,211 they'll have to incur at any cost in the next year if no loan repayment have taken place. I hope you are getting my point. Though they are being changed, you'll take it as the fixed cost because they have taken the new borrowings now. That's why they have incurred it. And finance costs do not have any relationship with the level of output you generate. It has the relationship with the amount of loan you have taken. And so accordingly, we'll distribute this in the next session because you will have the upcoming session in 5 to 10 minutes and your break is also there for 5 to 10 minutes. So let's not take much time of this. We'll continue it in the next session. So that's it from my side. Please put your enrollment number as a mark of your attendance. In the next session, we are going to continue with this leverage analysis of Reliance. In case of any queries or questions, please let me know. Else, you may just put your enrollment number as a mark of your attendance. Bye-bye, take care, sayonara, that's it from my side. See you all in the next session. Today only we have got it at 1:30. Please do not forget that. Take care.